How do you feel like you did today?
Good. Today's been a day that I've been anticipating and looking forward to since pretty much season's end. But I've had really good training past few months, and I thought today was a good reflection of that.
So what were you just trying to accomplish, and what were you hoping for?
I just wanted to have the chance to be able to punt in front of the scouts. There was a ton of scouts out here today, which was great. But just having the opportunity to let them see me punt, and I hit some good punts out there, long punts, hang time, and then we finished off with some pooch punts, Aussie, and it all went real well. I ended up doing the bench press as well, just because that's kind of one of the strengths I have as a punter. It just kind of separates me from the rest of the punters out there. But at the end of the day, it comes down to how well you can punt, not how much you can bench.
Did you kind of have a goal for distance or anything like that? And what were you trying to get, and what your goals kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I was shooting for at least 45 yards every punt, and I think I went over 50 for every single one except one went 48. But we were dealing with some windy conditions out there today. It was a little tough to adjust to, but I felt like I made the adjustments and things went really well.
Was that a concern at all when you got up this morning and saw the wind and saw how
I've been checking the weather for all week, and we had great weather and yesterday and the day before. It was just a little more windy today, but that's something as a punter you have to be able to play in the elements, and these teams are going to look to see if you can make those adjustments. So.
What are you expecting out of this process? It's obviously a little bit different for you guys than it is for everyone else.
Right. I as a kicker and punter, I have a little bit different road than, say, like a quarterback or D lineman. I went to a specialist combine out in Phoenix and performed really well out there, and we're kind of like a niche specialty group. And if you can get plugged in and do well at those combines like I did, your name goes up to some special teams coordinators in the league, and hopefully after pro day today, I maybe get some workouts with some teams and get through the draft and see how free agency goes if that is what happens.
Have you heard much from anybody, or is this kind of for you guys? I mean,
yeah,
the process.
There are. My biggest thing as a punter is to kind of target teams that have punters with contracts that are ending, higher paid punters that aren't at the top of the net average. And you kind of stay away from the teams with punters that are guaranteed a lot of money. So we've found some teams that have maybe some opportunities, and my agent's spoken with them, and we've been in contact with some teams that I'm hopeful for. So we'll just keep working.
If somebody would have said a year ago for you that this is kind of where you were at, would you have believed that it would be here and that you would be going through this process the way you are? Considering where you were last spring.
Right. I never wanted to put limits on my potential, but I think I've exceeded probably a lot of folks' expectations of myself. But, personally, I knew that I was capable of being where I'm at right now. And, I don't think the journey's going to end here for me.
Matt, you've talked about this process. Have you leaned on anybody? Like, have you talked to Michael at all about, you kind of went through this last year. Have you kind of leaned on any
Yeah. I've been talking with Mike off and on, trying to get, nuggets of gold on the process. I spoke with Dustin Colquitt at the end of the season, about agents and what he did kind of preparing for pro day. And then I've been training with other guys that are coming out in this draft class as punters. And so we've all kind of, been working together, and I have a really good grasp on this process, and I think I've navigated it, very well.
What are some of the things you learned from those guys? What did they tell you to be ready for?
Basically, you got to be able to show you have a big leg in front of these scouts, which I definitely do. Consistency is huge, and then the biggest thing that you can't really control after the fact is your game film. And fortunately for me, I had an incredible season with some really big punts and some really big games, and playing at a school like Tennessee in the SEC, that goes a little bit longer than if you're playing at a smaller school. So, I'm incredibly thankful and fortunate that I've been able to be in this program, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
There's obviously not a lot of not a lot of jobs basically when it comes to being a punter. You obviously a lot of guys
32.
Yeah. And a lot of guys have to kind of hang around and,
Yeah.
not make it the first year.
Yeah,
ready
you
for
as a
that
punter
point.
have to kind of decide if you know, I call it recycle, but even Pilardi last year had he had to recycle, and he's got an opportunity this year. You know, I'm if this is, you know, if I don't get picked up this year, like, I'll probably recycle and try again next season. And you kind of put yourself a timetable. But there's a lot of punters in the NFL that end up getting a job second, third year out of college. That's just the way the position kind of cycles through.
By recycle, you mean just keep working out, get a job, do this?
Right.
divide your
Yes.
time,
Keep training. Keep training. Going to camps and you know, staying on top, and then of course trying to have your agent communicate with teams that you're still at the top of your game and ready to work out if they ever want to see it.
Any thoughts on who can replace you as punter for UT next year?
Trevor Daniel has a huge leg, and you know, I think that he's very capable. You know, Coach Jones is great at evaluating his players, and I know we got some new guys coming in, and they'll make a good decision. But you know, I'm excited to see what Tennessee does in the next seasons to come. It's definitely going in the right direction. I'm incredibly thankful for the opportunity I had to play here.